When the gut is full of bad microbes, the body becomes overwhelmed. And this means both emotionally and physically. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people for better health. Drugs work to control symptoms. They often have side effects. The overuse of antibiotics and drugs like chemo have taken a toll on the gut. Reversing the effects of these conditions, hi Kathy, is what we're going to talk about in today's class. The medications that people take in often have the side effects of affecting many things, including the gut. So the medical model of dealing with illnesses is to take blood tests and to scientifically prove that this is the problem you're having, and the solution is often medication, sometimes surgery. So the model that I use is called a health model, and it's almost the opposite of dealing with illnesses. We want to find out why the body is presenting the symptoms it's presenting, sort of like a game of Clue. I believe, like the Chinese doctors do, that what we need is to understand the symptoms and to figure out what we can do to get the body back into balance. So it's an assessment, and it's sort of like a puzzle, and I love puzzles. First thing you do is you put the borders in because those are the known element. Then you look at the colors, you try to match up the colors or shapes, or and you fill in the rest of the puzzle. That's what I do in assessing somebody's health. It's interesting to know the diagnosis because that can kind of tell me what's going on symptomatically. So we look at tissue health, and if the tissue is too tight, we need to loosen it. If it's too wet, we need to dry it out. If it's too rigid, we need to relax it. And there are foods and supplements and that can assist with that. Even with emotional healing, we look at whether it's due to too tense or too loose, which would be depression. Anxiety is tight, tense. So we simply want to assess what is going on with the body. One of the borders that we talked about with puzzles, what we do is what are the known elements? When did this first occur? What was going on when this occurred? So oftentimes people say, well, I don't remember. It's been going on for so long. And so we work with, what we do know, what we can help the body with. So this whole month of March has been talking about gut issues, and the very first one I explained the health of the gut and what we want to do to achieve it. And this second week we looked at the diseases of the gut, and although I don't work with disease, I find them interesting. I work with a model of health. So today we want to talk about how can we impact the health of the gut? How can we get it back to what we consider balanced? So the gut is, a better word for it is called a microbiome. Now, micro means small, and biome is an ecosystem. So it is a bunch of living organisms. They live together in harmony, and they're symbiotic, and they support health. So the gut is one cell thick, the lining of it, and we talked about that last week. And it's sort of like having a picket fence, and these gaps in here are triggered to open to allow digested food to come through to feed the small intestine and get into the bloodstream. So here's a picture that can help you understand it a little better. So these are healthy cells. They all have lovely tight junctions, which is the desired thing. And then there's something called zonulin that triggers the gap to open. And then food comes in and it mixes with the bloodstream and goes on its way to the liver to be decided on who's going to get what. And then the body's healthy. So then over here we have what's called leaky gut. That's when the gut has been overwhelmed and now all manner of things are coming through. Viruses and pathogens, parasites, viruses. And so the gut is no longer protecting us like it should. And so we want to get back into what we call homeostasis, which is a balanced, healthy state. So how do we do that? Well, today that's what we're going to talk about, some of the things we can do to support better gut health. And so the first thing you want to do is figure out what is creating the irritation. And oftentimes it's something we're eating, and sometimes it's what we're thinking. So a lot of people have a sensitivity to gluten. So gluten has something called gliadin, and this it activates that gap opening and causes the gut to allow too many things to come through. So cutting out some aggravating foods like sugar and white flour, sugar, dairy. These are we call the whites. These are very inflammatory foods. And for some people, wheat can be the same thing. And they just feel better when they're not eating it. So that's a clue, hello, how much information do you need before you decide that this is not healthy for you? So one of the things that our body makes, it's an amino acid called L-glutamine. Now, L-glutamine supports the health of the gut. Excuse me a minute. Always good to drink water. So, L-glutamine is considered a non-essential amino acid. Now, essential amino acids mean you have to get them from your food and the body can't make them. And so, although it's considered a non-essential amino acid, it actually is used up. We, through the way we deal with stress and the way we eat, we just use up the amount of L-glutamine necessary to keep those gaps nice and tight. So we need to supply our body with L-glutamine, and I'll tell you in a little bit how you can do that. But not only does L-glutamine protect the lining of the gut, but it's an extremely potent anti-inflammatory. So it's necessary in all parts of our body. For example, if you're dealing with arthritis, you've got inflammation. Remember, we talked about that a few weeks ago about itis meaning inflammation. And so wherever, bursitis, arthritis, sinusitis, those all mean there's inflammation going on in the body. And so L-glutamine is going to be very active and used up quickly whenever you're dealing with inflammation. Also, hey, my sister's on. And so we want to make sure we have a good supply of L-glutamine so it can fight free radicals and deal with all this inflammation. They have found that L-glutamine actually helps with blood sugar balancing, so people with diabetes, there's an inflammatory marker in that. So yesterday I talked about health is not just about luck. You have to actively work on being healthy. It isn't just going to happen, especially as you get older. You have to pay more attention. So on my newsletter, you can look and see on the sidebar here where it says newsletter, and you can read the information in its entirety. Also on here, you'll see that there's herbal or herbal encyclopedia, and the herbal encyclopedia alphabetizes all the herbs I talk about, and you can look them up and get more information on each one of them. So today I want to talk to you about something that is absolutely fabulous in helping to heal the gut, and it's called Biome DTX. Now, DTX stands for detoxification, and let me just read to you. So it's a patent-pending formula designed to improve intestinal function, promote a healthy gut microbiome, and enhance the elimination of toxins and heavy metals. Biome DTX contains nutrients that repair and maintain the health and integrity of the intestinal lining. That's what we've been talking about. It combats gastrointestinal inflammation, facilitates liver and kidney function, and enhances cellular defenses against the adverse effects of daily exposure to environmental toxins. Biome DTX also provides nutrients that foster healthy cholesterol and blood glucose. So some of the things that are in it are fiber. And we need fiber to help clean out the junk. If we're not getting rid of toxins, they lay there and they're an environment for disease. And we do not want to harbor an environment for disease. So L-glutamine is included in this, along with wonderful veggie like broccoli and cabbage and carrots and red beet, and so it's a really wonderful formula. It comes in a box like this, Biome DTX, and there's 30 packets in it, and you just rip open a packet, put it in some water, stir it up really good, or if you have bottled water, you can stick it in the bottle and shake it up and then drink it down. And the best thing to do is to drink it quickly, because the job of fiber is to absorb those toxins. And you mix it with water so it becomes a great sponge-like medium that can collect all these toxins and flush them out. And so it's done on a daily basis. Some people, when they're dealing with some really harmful things, they want to do it twice a day. And you want to do it in between meals because you don't want it to flush out the nutrients. You want to make sure that you're getting some healthy nutrients in at the same time. So by the way, if you're liking what you're hearing, would you push on that little red heart and give me some hearts? Liking is fine, but hearts, Facebook pays more attention to those, and they will help help me promote this video. And I think of these videos as little coaching sessions. You know, we hear so much about disease, and they get us all frightened and everything. I think we need some understanding about health and hope, and that's what these little coaching programs do. So if you would help promote them, share them with your friends, I would appreciate it. So besides repairing the gut lining with L-glutamine, and we need to get rid of the junk with the fiber in that, we want to pay attention to stress, because stress can tighten up the stomach. It can create something called a hiatal hernia. So that's when the stomach should be here, and then the diaphragm kind of comes around, it's underneath our rib cage. And what happens with a hiatal hernia through stress and other things, it'll pop the stomach up through the diaphragm, causing an inability to take deep breaths. Most of us shallow breathe, and so we want to take deep diaphragmatic breaths. And so concentrating on your belly button and breathe in and out, and that's what we should concentrate on. A lot of times yoga, it's all about the breath, and so we want to make sure that we're breathing really well. One of the things I like is called Refuge. Now, Refuge can be put in a diffuser, and you can diffuse it throughout the whole house and make it smell wonderful. Now, let me read you about Refuge Calming Blend. And these are the sheets that you can find on my website on that tab where it says Herb Encyclopedia. So Refuge has lavender and orange. Now, while you're breathing in the stress-reducing, beautiful scents, you're also clearing the house of microbes that could be harmful. So orange is a wonderful, it kills bacteria and viruses, and just by inhaling it. I actually like to take a little bit of orange and put it, you know where you put your pod for the dishwasher, just tap like 3 or 4 drops into that. And when I open the dishwasher and it's done, oh, the smell is wonderful. And so you've done double cleaning because you've created an atmosphere of killing bacteria and viruses off of your dishes and that. So that's a great hint. I've also created a cream with this. I made a little pot with lotion, and I like to use silver. Keeps it bacterial free, even though the essential oils are bacteria resistant. By the way, I only use Nature's Sunshine because they give a 3-way guarantee on their essential oils. They guarantee it organic from the grower, so they get a certificate from the grower. It goes to the distiller, and there's a blueprint that matches what this is. It comes from the distiller with the blueprint, which matches the grower, and it gets to Sunshine, and then they test it again. So you have a 3-way guarantee that you're dealing with pure, organic, essential oils. Nobody else guarantees like that. So anyways, there's blue tansy in here, and it kind of tints the lotion. So it's kind of a very light blue. And it smells so wonderful. Now, a little bit of this goes a long way. But if you're anxious at all, it's wonderful to have something ready in your purse or your briefcase, in your desk, and you can just dab it on your wrist, bring it up to your nose, smell it. Along with the Refuge, I have something called Distress Remedy in there. Now, Distress Remedy has 7 flower essences in it that support calming the nervous system. I use it for all kinds of things. I put it on the bottoms of the feet of babies, and it can uptake and help them calm. Animals, you can put it on the pads of the animals' feet, and you can see them calm. It's great. My neighbor uses it for when the 4th of July comes along and there's all kinds of fireworks. I had one client whose dog was chewing everything in sight because of abandonment issues. Every time she'd come home from work, there'd be something else all torn up. And she started putting a few drops in the dog's water, and lo and behold, nothing else chewed up. So some of the other things we want to do to encourage a healthy environment in the colon is Bacillus coagulans. That's a probiotic that actually is unusual in the sense that it doesn't stay and colonize in the gut. what it does is sort of like the Pied Piper of probiotics. And so it plays its tune, and all of the other probiotics can colonize while it's working its way and taking out the bad microbes. So it lasts about 7 days, and then it's eliminated. And generally people feel a difference in 3 to 4 hours where there's less gas and bloating, and it just makes you feel so much better. So you can find that on my website, which, by the way, I've got a poster up finally. So bornforhealth.com. I have tons of wonderful health information. Last Saturday, I did an entire class on purifying the gut. It's available now in audio form. You can email me for the PDF of the class handout at drmary@bornforhealth.com, and I'd be happy to send that to you in email form for free. You can go on my website, click on the classes, our calendar, and see down below the class on you can see on the class list all of the classes that I've done. I've also got one on there about digestion and the importance of digestion. And Ramona just sent me a heart. Thank you. So I hope that you pay attention to your gut. You know, we talk about our gut feeling and that. Listen to it. Many times that connection between our gut and our brain is truer than what our thinking brain is telling us. So we learn to listen to our gut instinct and pay attention to it when we know that something is not good or something we shouldn't be doing something. The more we encourage that, the better it is. Next week, we're going to talk about the emotions of the gut. So I hope you stay tuned to next week, Dr. Mary's Health to Home at 10:30 on Tuesday, March 26th. Check out my website for more information. I encourage comments. I answer them. I check them quite frequently. I also check my email quite frequently. And if you've enjoyed today's class, I certainly would appreciate hearing that. If you have something that you don't quite understand and you'd like to email me, and we can converse over that. So on the below the class information, there's something that says get tickets. That simply is a connection to all of the supplements that I talked about today so that you can have easy reference. You can also purchase them. If you're a member of Nature's Sunshine, you can get a 35% discount. If you want to become a member, you can connect in that area. I really would appreciate you sharing this information with other people. There's so many people out there suffering needlessly, getting drugs for something that herbs can do a far better job of helping people with. So I hope there was something in today's message that encouraged you, that helped you say, I can do this. You know, we want some action steps, and so here's some suggestions. Stop putting in, listen to your gut, figure out what's irritating it, and stop putting it in. Give yourself 7 days to test and see if you don't feel better. Do something to repair the gut. The probiotics I talked about, the Ultra Biome, something that will help your gut to heal. Learn to deal better with stress. Take some distress remedy or some calming essential oils and use them on a daily basis. So keep focusing on good choices for better health. Thank you today for viewing and sharing, and I hope that I see you next week. Until then, this is Dr. Mary at Health to Home for the health of it. Thank you.